Is it some past criticisms that we may have had about your esteemed office or being an Alabama fan? Why are you picking on me, man? Why are you picking on me?
Well, Joe, let me say, I've never been more popular with your staff and the producers. They were so excited when I did this. Well, you know, look, as an Alabama fan, you guys aren't going to be able to do a Gatorade shower later this season when we beat you, when LSU beat you, so you might as well get it out of your system now.
Look at this, LSU fan already talking smack, Mike Barnacle.
Well, you can take care of him this fall.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
we'll be done. Well, so have you heard back from Les Miles? You challenged Les. Is he going to do it?
I've not yet. Look, I've heard back from Willie Robertson. I'm thrilled. You're going to be such a good sport about this. Now, I want to be very clear. There's a new trend going on. They call it the naked ice bucket challenge. I'm not challenging you to that. Okay. Nobody on TV needs to see that. We don't want that. That is not at all what we're. That's not good TV. So this is just the plain vanilla regular ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, Mike Barnacle says he wants to actually volunteer for that. That'll really help ratings a lot. All right. Well, hey, listen, we're gonna talk about why you did this, why you challenged me, the bigger cause in a minute, a little bit later on, right before the ice is dumped on my head and Mika's head as well. But first of all, let's talk about a couple of things. Sure. Let's start with Common Core. This is an issue that seemed like a great idea to a lot of people, including conservatives like Jeb Bush. It seemed to take a nasty turn, and I've actually heard parents from moderate Republican and Democratic families walk up to me and express concern about Common Core. It's not just been right-wing nuts, as the mainstream media would want us to believe, but a lot of concerns about Common Core. What's your evolution on this?
Well, look, I originally thought the idea of standards, locally developed standards, was a great idea, and I'm still for rigor in the classroom. The reason I'm opposing Common Core so strongly and fighting to get it out of Louisiana is that it has become something very different than what it started. Now it's become driven by the federal government, the federal bureaucracy. It was never intended to be a top-down approach, and the federal government has never made curriculum decisions in our local schools. I think it's a mistake to do that. A lot of times people who are for Common Core try to say, well, if you're against this, you're against standards. That's simply not true. I'm for tests, I'm for standards. I just don't want the federal government driving these standards. As a parent, I look at the math standards, I look at some of the reading text, and I'm very worried about my kids doing these things. I think it would have been better if they had slowed down, let the teachers, let the parents have more involvement, have more transparency. I think they've rushed to do this. So I think the idea of standards is good. I just don't like the idea of a one-size-fits-all approach from the federal government.
Okay. Speaking of high standards, the BBC's Caddy Case here.
Governor, you were up in Des Moines, Iowa recently, and the paper there, the Register, said that you got a warm welcome. So how is 2016 looking for you?
Well, look, I'm thinking and praying about it. Won't make a decision until after November. We've got to win some important races this November, the Senate races, some governor's races, keep the House. If I were to decide to run, I certainly think that our country is hungry for a big change in direction, not incremental change, especially when it comes to restoring the American dream for our children and grandchildren. I think there's a lot of frustration with both Democrats and Republicans in both parties that all they want to do is make incremental changes. Nobody, even in D.C., you hear from Republicans, well, you can't repeal Obamacare, you can't balance the budget, you can't grow the economy. We need to fix those things. We need a stronger foreign policy, but there'll be time after November to make those decisions. Right now, let's win the Senate and let's win a bunch of these governor's races.
Governor, I don't want to get out the verbal ice bucket again, but back to the Common Core. Where does Louisiana rank in terms of education and math and national standards?
Well, you know, look, historically, Louisiana has not done well, but recently we've implemented very aggressive reforms so that, for example, in New Orleans, 90% of our kids are now in charter schools. We have doubled the percentage doing reading and math on grade level in 5 years. We've got the highest ever graduation rate in our high schools. At one point in New Orleans, before these reforms, 60% of our kids were in failing schools. Now it's less than 6%. You look across the state, record growth in the number of kids taking AP exams, more kids doing well on the ACT. So we have seen rapid improvement, rapid progress. We've still got work to do. I'm not saying that we are where we want to be, but we're doing better than we've done before because we've done things like charter schools. We've done things like high-stakes testing. We do merit evaluations of our teachers. We do school choice. We empower parents. I'm all for reforms, and I'm all for accountability. I think it's important Louisiana's kids learn the best math, and we can compare them to kids in other countries and other states. My problem with Common Core is, again, The Federal Department of Education, already Duncan, through Race to the Top, No Child Left Behind waivers, through funding threats, has made this into a federal takeover of our local curriculum. That's what's not acceptable.
Governor, this is Thomas Roberts. Just two quick things. First of all, thank you.